Starting on cinemas, and that's cinemas with an S. And today I'll be giving you my review of The Incredible Hulk. Now, before I begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and leave a comment on the section below. Now, the synopsis on The Incredible Hulk goes as follows. Scientist Bruce Banner, played by Edward Norton, desperately seeks a cure for the gamma radiation that contaminated his cells and turned him into the alter ego Hulk. Cut off from his true love, Betty Ross, played by Liv Tyler, and forced to hide from his nemesis, General Thunderbolt Ross, Banner soon comes face to face with a new threat, a supremely powerful enemy known as the Abomination, played by Tim Roth. So, synopsis is pretty simple. It's pretty simple. It's about Bruce Banner. He got this so-called disease, and now he just wants to find a cure for it before the military gets their hands on it. It's simple. Now, how do I feel about the story? Well, ironically, the story of the strongest Avenger is one of the weakest in the MCU. While in a Hulk movie, it is always very interesting and entertaining to build that suspense of when Bruce Banner transforms into the Hulk. You know, when we see him growing big and angry in the shadows. But the story could have been more interesting in several areas than that. This movie was intended to be a reboot to the sequel to the 2003 flick, five years prior to when this movie came out, which is why when you watch this, you really forget about its continuity in this shared universe, because this movie has been called the black sheep of the MCU, because even though you try your best to remember it's in the same universe as the Avengers, it's so easy to forget because it doesn't sport the same qualities as most movies in the franchise. You know, it doesn't have the same amount of comedy. There's not a lot of references to any characters or anything Avengers related. There's a little blink and you'll miss SHIELD Easter egg, but other than that, I don't really think so. And then I felt that The Incredible Hulk got a few things right, such as the action sequences between the Hulk and the military on the college campus, and the climactic battle between Hulk and the Abomination, which is still one of the best monster fights I have ever seen on screen. The battle between Hulk and Abomination in Harlem will still go on to be one of the best duels. One of my personal favorite duels in this whole franchise. The movie doesn't contain as much comedic substance as Iron Man did before this movie came out. But even though there was some comedy about the whole phrase, "you wouldn't like me when I'm angry," you know, poking fun at that little about that little line from the Hulk in the comics, it also feels like an on-the-run story, like The Fugitive, because he has spent so long hiding in plain sight from the government, and the problem is they want to dissect this condition out of Banner and use him as a weapon for the U.S. government. I don't know if that has always been the case throughout the history of the Hulk, but if it isn't, that's good. That's a good way to raise some stakes, because it's a race against time. It's like, if I don't do this, if I don't hurry up and get this thing out of me, they're going to use it against me or just potentially anybody. And like I said, this is one of those few instances where a possession from the hero gets caught in the wrong hands and gets recycled for evil, hence the Abomination. And the Abomination is the Hulk's arch nemesis. He's basically his monstrous reflection, an evil reflection of the Hulk. Now, about the characters. Now, don't get me wrong, we all love Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner and the Hulk. A complete favorite when he came into the Avengers, recasted. We immediately loved the way he was secure and sensitive as Bruce Banner, and very furious and savage as the Hulk. But this Oscar-nominated, I can't talk. This Oscar-nominated actor gave his own take on Bruce Banner. Norton gave the character of Bruce a very relaxing and peaceful state of mind. The Hulk's physique in this movie is more lean and slim, which is certainly different than that of Ruffalo, which is very jacked and wide. It was really cool to see the Abomination on screen, because I felt that the inclusion of this villain was a good excuse for them to get away with having a generic antagonist that could just kill, smash, and destroy. Because that's pretty much who he is. Even if if you wanted to write the Abomination as a sympathetic villain, even if you take that all away, the Abomination is still the Abomination, because that is what the definition of Abomination is. It is unreasonable aggression. It's like if you kick a dog. It's like if you kick a dog to the side, the dog didn't do nothing to you. That is exactly what Abomination is. He can knock a citizen over. They don't have to do anything. He kills, smashes, and destroys because that is what he loves to do. He thinks it's all fun and games. And of course, Hulk is not the only character from this movie who would come back later in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, played by William Hurt, which I kind of like Sam Elliott better still to this day as General Ross. He's a more fearsome General Ross, but he would come back later in Captain America Civil War, Infinity War, in Endgame, and later in the upcoming Black Widow. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 67% score, which is still good because, like I said, anything, according to Rotten Tomatoes, anything over a 60%, it's still good. That means they still loved it. If it's certified fresh, that means it's 80 or above. It's a gold tomato. But The Incredible Hulk had great action. It lacked a lot of Marvel Studios comedy, and it did a great job with introducing Bruce Banner to us. So for that, I'll give it 7 SOs out of 10 SOs. So that's my review on The Incredible Hulk. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you go see it because it's still a great Hulk movie. It's not the best one, but I still encourage you to go see it in case, you know, for the sake of, because I know a lot of us are sitting at home in quarantine just scrolling through movies, but I encourage you, if you haven't seen The Incredible Hulk in a while, I encourage you to go see it because it's still a very action-packed movie and there's a lot of great character building in there. So I'll see you guys next time with my next video. Bye.